In September 2025, Lanzhou. Rainfall has been more abundant than usual, and the surrounding Loess hills are covered with a rare layer of greenery. Today, Professor Xiongyu Kai from the College of Ecology began packing his belongings to depart for Kenya. It will be the 38th journey for him to fly to that distant continent. What makes him so attached to the East African Plateau, thousands of miles away from China? The story began over 2 decades ago.
那我上高中的时候，我就想当科学家。上了大学的时候呢，我就想读博士。所以当时在选专业的时候呢，就想做些有意义的事情。西北干旱，少雨，这个粮食生产呢，低而不稳。所以呢，当时呢，还是青葱岁月，还是有一个报国的情怀。
An unforeseen shift occurred in 2011. The East African Plateau had encountered a once-in-60-year severe drought, triggering a food crisis. China provided Kenya with 2 billion Kenyan shillings, 130 million yuan in food aid, and launched the UN-China Science and Technology Cooperation Program of Water Resource for Africa. As the project leader, Xiongyu Kai led his team on their first visit to rural Kenya. To their surprise, they discovered that the dryland farming techniques that had alleviated the millennia-old poverty of the Loess Plateau of China, particularly the ridge furrow plastic mulching technology, seemed to be tailor-made for the East Africa on the other side of the globe. It appeared to act as a key to unlock Africa's agricultural challenges. From that moment, he forged an indelible bond with this land.
国内国际的中转时间只有3个小时，我们要抓紧时间来，等会儿要登机了，主要是为了多省一天时间，这样呢，我们在这个肯尼亚呢有更多的这个提高效率。
From Lanzhou to Nairobi, a 16-hour flight covering 12,800 kilometers, a journey he has undertaken for 15 years. September marks Kenya's short rainy season, when wildlife herds have already migrated south to the Serengeti Plains.
We 们现在做的是 China Road， 名字叫 Nairobi Expressway。这个路交通很方便，你到机场到哪个地方坐这个路很快就到那边。
Kenya straddles the equator, traversed by the East African Rift Valley, spanning 580,000 square kilometers, comparable to Sichuan province. Its highland terrain endows it with an equatorial climate that feels perpetually spring-like. Temperatures ranging from 10 to 26 degrees Celsius throughout the year, harboring agricultural promise. Yet, the highly uneven rainfall rhythm has a hidden crisis here. With only 2 rainy seasons, the short season ranges from October to December, and the long one from March to June. The prolonged dry season imposes drought-like shackles, stifling the land's vitality. Here, 80% of the population relies on agriculture and livestock, with tea, coffee, and avocados forming the primary economic pillars. Owing to dependence on the whims of the weather and extensive farming, local food production perpetually hovers around subsistence levels. More notably, among 56 million population in this country, 70% of them are under 30 years old, in which over half are under 25. A nation brimming with youthful potential. Behind this vast labor force lies an urgent demand for food security, a critical barrier to development that must be overcome.
Nairobi, a city kissed by sunlight, sits atop a plateau at 1,680 meters. The United Nations Environment Program and UN Habitat have also established their headquarters here. In October 2025, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres announced that by 2026, all functions of UNICEF, UN Women,
and UNFPA would relocate to Nairobi. This city will thus become the fourth location, following New York, Geneva, and Vienna, to host multiple UN agencies. Historical ties run deep. 6 centuries ago, Zheng He's fleet twice reached Kenya's Malindi and Mombasa, particularly where the Swahili word for tea, chai, bears echoes of the overland Silk Road. Today, the Mombasa-Nairobi Railway links East Africa's premier port with the capital. That afternoon, Xiong Yukai traveled to Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, 36 kilometers away. Here is Kenya's sole comprehensive university specializing in agricultural technology, a leading engineering agricultural universities across the East Africa. In 2015, the China-Africa Joint Research Center, the Chinese government's first overseas comprehensive scientific research and educational institution, was established here. It has since become a vital platform for bilateral cooperation in bilateral conservation, ecological conservation, and modern agricultural demonstration. The Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology boasts an expansive campus, with the main site covering approximately 4 square kilometers. Beyond teaching buildings and libraries, vast experimental fields dominate the landscape. Research teams from numerous countries carry out scientific activities here. Yet Xiong Yukai's team from Lanzhou University has maintained the longest presence, a full decade.
Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, okay, how are you? Okay.
The 2 local agricultural experts have been Professor Xiong's long-standing research partners. Through their daily field experiments, they have witnessed firsthand the tangible benefits of plastic mulch technology in Kenya, fostering strong confidence in its application and promotion.
We would want really Kenyan farmers will be very willing to learn from the Chinese farmers what transformation happened from where they were 20 years ago up to 2025. We can learn a lot from Chinese transformation, particularly in agricultural production, small tools, small farms and intensive production. It is very important that our farmers get to know how China managed to do that.
There are quite a number of limiting factors in agricultural production in Kenya, but the most critical one is water, because the rainfall sometimes is unreliable, and so you need to retain much of the moisture that falls into the farm, for crop production. And so this particular technology, we have found it very good for saving the moisture to control, evaporation of the water that comes into the soil.
I think I started learning about it in 2018, 2019 during the visit to Lanzhou. And for us, it is a very simple and applicable technology, and does not require a lot of high-cost technology, very cheap, very simple to apply, that our farmers can easily adopt. China has potential to supply finished materials to Kenya. So that collaboration in agriculture is extremely important in terms that it's going to enhance food security, both in Kenya and in China. And then there will be technology transfer from both countries, Kenya and China. Kenya has a lot of open land. Kenya has very good agricultural climate, so we could try and test materials from China in Kenya. So agricultural collaboration is extremely important.
Students from Jomo Kenyatta Agricultural Technology Institute have also visited the experimental base. A field teaching session led by experts from China's Loess Plateau, alongside local professors, commenced upon this red earth.
Because black plastic sheets can prevent the sunlight, the solar radiations, go through, improve the soil temperature.
Each time Xiong Yukai visits Kenya, he engages in numerous such exchanges. The audience often includes local officials, farmers, and primary and secondary school pupils who have heard about the initiative and wish to witness firsthand the remarkable potential of this Chinese technology. Why is this much-discussed Chinese agricultural technology so remarkable? The story begins much earlier. In December 2024, a commemorative gathering was held at Lanzhou University. Over 200 domestic and international ecology experts gathered to honor the memory of Professor Zhao Songling, a renowned ecologist who pioneered China's plastic mulch technology and founded water harvesting agriculture 30 years after his passing. Drought and poverty have long been inseparable companions on this planet. 1/3 of the world's landmass lies within arid and semi-arid regions, home to 1 billion people living on less than $2 a day. The human struggle against hunger is fundamentally a battle against aridity. In China, arid and semi-arid agricultural zones cover 52% of the national territory. The Loess Plateau stands as the most quintessential example. On this land, drought is an inescapable curse, and rain the sole hope. Farming at the mercy of the heavens seems a fate generation of local peasants have been unable to shake. As early as 8,000 years ago, the ancestors of Gansu's Dadiwan began collecting rainwater to irrigate their fields. By the pre-Qin period, ridge cultivation techniques had taken shape, with intensive farming becoming a deep-rooted foundation of Chinese agricultural civilization. In the late 1980s, Professor Zhao Songling experimented with laying polyethylene mulch in farmland at Tangjiabao. At that time, plastic film was a rarity, and some mocked him as a mad old man. Yet this seemingly reckless act marked a historic step forward. During the severe drought from 1993 to 1995, plastic mulched fields demonstrated astonishingly stable and high yields, shocking the nation. Gansu, which had previously required 1 billion jin of grain transfers from the state year after year, now ranks among China's top 10 grain exporting provinces. Plastic mulch has become the winning strategy for transforming the arid and barren Loess Plateau, hailed as a single sheet that settles the heavens. Following in the footsteps of Professor Zhao Songling, Professor Li Fengmin of Lanzhou University's second generation of researchers refined the plastic mulch technique. Collaborating with Yang Qifeng, director of Gansu's Agricultural Technology Extension Station, to refine and demonstrate the technology, successfully developing the full-film double-ridge furrow sowing technique. This innovation addresses the effective utilization of natural precipitation. It proves effective in arid and semi-arid regions below 2,300 meters elevation, with annual rainfall under 600 millimeters. Even minimal precipitation of 5 millimeters can be channeled by the film into furrows, delivering precise irrigation to crop roots. This marks a shift from passive to active drought resistance. This innovation has elevated maize's suitable cultivation altitude by nearly 500 meters, expanding high-yield crop cultivation areas. Today, plastic mulch has become indispensable for most crops across China. In 2008, this technology yielded 1/5 of the province's grain output from just 7.2% of its arable land. The ridge furrow plastic mulching technique played a pivotal role in China's battle against poverty. Xiong Yukai's team, pioneers of third-generation plastic mulch technology, has now taken up the baton. They are extending this dryland farming technique to more water-scarce regions, boosting grain yields and production. This time, their sights are set further afield, dedicated to forging agricultural partnerships with Belt and Road partner nations. Thus began a 15-year exchange between a Chinese team and an African nation. The vision of exporting an agricultural technology honed over 2 decades in China to benefit another continent was admirable, yet the path proved far from smooth. In 2011, when Xiong Yukai first arrived in Kenya with his team at the experimental field they had secured after considerable effort, the sight before them was profoundly shocking.
到了这个非洲的第一关，就把我们撂在这个10几亩的荒地上面，布满了石头、荆棘、草， 那就不是一块农田啊。那他就说要我们做实验，他只能给我们这么这个荒地做实验。那我们一口气啊，我就是打赤脚啊，我就是下地干活，我跟我的学生一起，那就把那10几亩地的这个呢重新翻了一遍，把大石头、小石头全部剪干净，草根、树根全部搞干净，然后把它搞整平，整成了方方正正的这个10几亩地的农田。
Once the barren slope was leveled into farmland and all preparations were complete, we laid the plastic mulch film we'd brought from China across the experimental field. As everyone eagerly anticipated its effectiveness, we unexpectedly faced another setback.
地膜为例，我们刚来的时候呢，因为我们是按照国内的生产标准、国内的紫外线的强度来生产的地膜，所以一到这儿来就全部的1个星期就是击到那么大的孔，击到那么大的孔，就地膜全部融化了啊！当时我们都傻眼了。那像这种情况呢，我们很快的又跟国内的这个呢生产厂家联系来对这个地膜的这个呢材质进行改造，加强了它的强度特别是抗紫外线的强度。那么这样呢我们生产新一代的地膜呢，就能够呢在东非高原呢能够大面积使用。
In this photograph taken at the Katumani experimental site in 2012, fields cultivated using traditional local methods yielded almost nothing, while maize grown under ridge furrow mulching showed vigorous growth and high yields. In August 2012, encouraging results emerged. At the end of maize's first growth cycle at the Katumani trial site, plants grown using ridge furrow mulching exceeded 2 meters in height, with plump ears. In contrast, maize cultivated using indigenous traditional methods reached only about 1 meter.
那个2012年呢，我们第一期实验呢，其实上呢所获得的玉米和小麦的产量、生物量、水分利用效率，这个提高的幅度超乎我们的想象。我们在黄土高原呢是可以达到了提高30%到50%。这个对于主粮作物的这个产量但是在东非高原呢，我们发现呢一下子提高了120%以上，水分利用效率呢提高了600%，甚至因为是在越干旱的季节，能够地膜覆盖这个技术呢，它展示出的优势就越大，那提高的幅度就越大。
This stark contrast has drawn widespread attention. Following the trial, nearly 20,000 people visited the experimental site to observe and learn. Yet, the adaptation of Chinese technology to local conditions in Africa has only just begun. Across the vast expanse of Africa, the most primitive farming methods persist, relying on the whims of the weather, with widespread cultivation yielding meager returns. Kenya's nationwide plastic ban presented a fresh challenge for the team, promoting ridge furrow plastic mulching and recovery techniques while safeguarding the environment.
我们把全膜改成条膜，从原来的能够地膜覆盖技术，我们呢变成了能够地膜覆盖与回收技术。将来呢，我们回收到的残膜还要进行资源化利用，那把它的变废为宝，这样呢就达到了污染的消除和粮食生产的一个双重双赢的这样一个局面。
As early as the 1960s and 1970s, agricultural experts from Japan, South Korea, and Germany conducted research on drought-resistant techniques here, but the high costs proved prohibitive for local farmers.
东非高原呢，能够地膜覆盖技术呢，其实上就是在黄土高原的传统的技术的基础上，进一步的改造和优化、在地化所形成的。东非高原呢，其实上呢，它是不需要全覆盖的。就是我们只要盖条膜，在这个垄上盖地膜就可以了，沟里再不需要盖了。第二个呢，它也不需要全程覆盖，它盖2个月就可以了，就达到什么呢？在地化了。所以呢，就能够解决呢雨水资源的时空的协调利用。东非高原呢，土壤的肥力特别是有机碳的含量这些关键指标是要显著高于黄土高原的黄棉土，所以这边的产量呢，要比黄土高原呢至少要高出20%以上。
While the concept of localizing technology may seem straightforward, its implementation presents considerable challenges. Over the past 15 years,
Lanzhou University has dispatched 5 batches comprising 25 postgraduate students and 7 faculty members to Kenya to conduct in-depth research on localizing this technology.
Okay, then professionally, okay. So because we have achieved the good.
His name is
progress.
Simon Naguru, a professor of soil science and water conservation at the University of Eastern Kenya, and Xiong Yukai's earliest collaborator in Kenya. This is his farm in Machakos County, serving as one of the demonstration sites for Chinese plastic mulch technology in Kenyan rural areas. The villagers here are all Kamba people, with women predominantly engaged in agricultural cultivation. Crops primarily consist of maize, mangoes, and pigeon peas. Today, Professor Simon Naguru has invited villagers participating in a United Nations project for women in developing countries to engage in on-site exchanges with Professor Xiong Yukai.
我们以为你们是天上来的了，但是我们今天看到你们跟我们一样的。
Tunawaonanga wakati wa TV, wakati mnafanya wa kalati.
我们就是看到你们做这个功夫还有 karate
Sana kwa vile mmekuja karibu na sisi.
十分感谢你们到我们这边来。
Na kwa ni asante, karibuni tena na tena sana kabisa.
谢谢谢谢，欢迎你们再来再来。
Salai, salai.
Dr. Simon Glu, I want to make the demonstrations how to use the plastic sheets. Okay, the first is the soil, treatment. We need to make this furrow. Okay, or this ridge. Okay, this ridge, and this furrow, and this furrow. Okay. So this distance between 2 furrows, okay.
他说这个以前用过种玉米的时候，就是铺地膜，然后种玉米，还用当地的语言给各种农民介绍。他说他们问我们在哪可以买到这个地膜。
Please wait patiently.
Ngojeni kabisa.
We'll provide Dr. Simon Glu
Tutapea Daktari Ngulu.
much more plastic sheets.
Tutapea karatasi mingi.
In the future, we'll establish
Tunapanga kutengeneza kampuni.
the factory to produce a lot of new
Ya
plastic
kutoa hizi
sheets
makaratasi mingi.
and give you a good price.
Ndio tukuwape kwa ile bei nafuu kabisa.
So $1 import, get a $100 income.
At this moment, Mandarin, English, Swahili, and Kamba intertwine as barriers of nationality, ethnicity, and culture dissolve in pursuit of this shared goal.
Okay.
Professor Naguru, who has visited China on multiple occasions, is confident about the promotion of this technology in Kenya.
Our research shows that this technology is profitable. The other thing with this technology is the probability of getting grain yield or biomass. We get rain, but people plant all the time. One season, in fact, 1 to 3 seasons is when they get out of 10. That's when they get a crop. The other, they don't get anything. And these people will tell you, rain comes, it falls too much, but there's too much heat, or the water goes. Once it goes, soil is left with no water, and people cannot harvest. But if we use this technology, we increase by over 70% probability of getting yield, some yield. And if we do this, it will be good because people here, if you go around, you find a lot of people farming large areas. When I went to China, I saw people farming small areas and getting a lot of food. That is something that need to be done here in Kenya. Because instead of putting a lot of effort farming very big areas, farm a small area, get big yield.
Farmers who have already used Chinese plastic mulch are highly satisfied with their harvests.
Hii karatasi nilipopanda naye nilipewa na Mr. Nguru sababu huko haipatikani. Aliniambia imetoka China. Kwa hivyo alipolete akanipatia kama 3 hivi. Nikapanda naye na niliona mazao ilikuwa mzuri sana. Ile ilikuwa chini ya juu ilikuwa kilo 9. Ile ya chini ilikuwa kama kilo 3, 5 hivi sababu inaenda na size. Unaweza panda lakini inakuwa ni sababu maji mpaka utumie maji mingi.
我们在非洲的经验呢，当我们大面积推广这项技术的时候呢，当地的农户啊，看到这么高的收成，有饭吃了，能够吃饱饭了，他是非常勤快的。所以当人看到希望的时候，他就有内在的动力。
Addressing the Kenyan farmers' need for affordable plastic mulch is also a key objective of Xiong Yukai's mission. He has already reached a preliminary agreement with the University of Eastern Kenya to establish a production facility. The University of Eastern Kenya also serves as one of the trial sites for Lanzhou University's ridge furrow plastic mulch coverage and recovery technology. Spanning 40 square kilometers, equivalent to over 5,000 football pitches, it ranks as Africa's second largest university by area. Transforming arid lands into oases, changing lives, embodies the aspirations and steadfast commitment of its faculty and students. The University of Eastern Kenya expressed interest in jointly establishing Africa's first agricultural film production enterprise.
So I'm from Nanjing University. I'm very honored to be invited.
Today, 2 Chinese agricultural film and machinery manufacturers presented their production technologies, equipment, and raw materials to experts and professors via video conference. Local production and local recycling are now within reach, heralding the imminent arrival of low-cost African agricultural film tailored to local conditions.
在广大的这个非洲农户，他们非常积极，非常渴望能够大面积推广这个技术，所以这是我们最大的一个动力都觉得我们这是有意义的事情，所以也愿意呢投资建设地膜厂搞示范中心，搞大面积的农户培训，搞这个地膜产品这个生产与回收。特别是在残膜的回收和重新加工利用，那这些健全的产业链如果一旦形成的话，我相信呢，肯尼亚人民乃至呢推广到东非高原，只是整个非洲干旱半干旱地区，我想呢，这也是一个前无古人后无来者的这样一个重要的一个进展。
Wang Yang and Li Shenpeng, postgraduate students from Lanzhou University, are part of the 5th cohort sent to Kenya for experimental demonstrations. Today, they will join local students Alex and Sylvia to conduct field surveys and soil sampling in Ingeborg County, Nakuru. Situated on the edge of the East African Rift Valley with views overlooking Lake Nakuru, Ingeborg County offers breathtaking scenery. Local farmer Alan Yegon had never used plastic mulch before, having only heard of the technique.
Plastic film mulching is a new technology used by farmers. Currently in our area, we are using the traditional methods of farming to plant maize. Given the opportunity to use a plastic film mulching, it will increase our crop production by 30% and will be appreciated to introduce in our area and in this Nakuru County.
Pointing to a patch of lush vegetation, locals explain, this is called Chinese grass. It was introduced from China, which substitutes grass for wood and resolves the conflict between fungi and forests. This technology has now spread to 106 countries and regions worldwide.
我们剥下它一个玉米看一下，大概长了几个月 3个月。
大概4个月。
4个月。如果土间饱满的话，大概能提升20%到30%的产量。用我们的技术，大概能长到35到40之间，然后刚好能补充它的突间长，然后就可以使它的产量能进一步的提升。还有刚才我注意到，它这里有一个虫子。
虫子。
对。这个，而且这个玉米已经坏掉了。如果用我们的地膜技术，它会提升土壤温度，会减少虫害的发生率。对，大概得在30%。整体来看，这个地区的土壤质量还是很高的。
很高的。
对。
Today, Mei Fujian will collaborate with Kenyan students to systematically analyze the physico-chemical properties of this soil sample from Nakuru through particle size analysis and organic matter content determination. This work will establish a data foundation for future experimental promotion of plastic mulch technology in this region. Wesley, aged 33, was the first student recruited by Xiong Yu Kai in Kenya. This young man, who developed an interest in agricultural technology from a young age, after completing his undergraduate studies, he became Xiong Yu Kai's postgraduate student. Now, having earned his doctorate, he is an associate professor at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
在中国的农村，我看到了很多中国的农业技术，在那边发展的很快，我们希望把这个技术用到肯尼亚，解决这个粮食安全的问题，也把农民的生活越来越好。
Currently, Professor Xiong Yu Kai's research group includes 11 Kenyan students who, like Wesley in his time, are studying China's dryland farming techniques. 6 students have already completed their studies and returned home. Jointly training international students and agricultural technicians while disseminating farming techniques has become routine for Xiong Yu Kai's team. He admitted the first international student to pursue a degree at Lanzhou University. To date, 44 students from Pakistan, Kenya, Zambia, Ethiopia, and other nations have studied here, returning home with technical expertise to become ambassadors of know-how along the Belt and Road. The campus glowed with vibrant autumn hues as the Silk Road Melodies, Beauty at Lanzhou University, 2025 International Culture Festival unfolded as scheduled. International students from 40 nations shared tales of their homelands through song, dance, and cuisine. This gathering fostered not only knowledge exchange, but also forged bridges of friendship among young scholars. Kenyan student Suma and her classmates meticulously prepared traditional dishes, kachumbari, pilau, and chapati. Mian Pian, a staple noodle dish in northwest China, was prepared by Wang Yang and Li Xianpeng, students who seldom cook at home, in their modest rented accommodation far from Africa. Not long ago, they even recreated jiangshui, a traditional northwest Chinese drink renowned for its cooling properties. This was likely the first bowl of jiangshui ever made on the African continent. Their social media posts garnered enthusiastic praise from classmates. This cornmeal-based dish, known as ugali, is a traditional staple in East and Southern African nations, typically served with meat stews or vegetables. Beloved by locals, ugali is regarded as a cultural emblem of Kenyan cuisine. In China's northwest, a similar dish made from cornmeal mixed with water is called sanfan. The difference lies in texture. One is porridge-like, the other forms into lumps. Two agricultural cultures, separated by vast distances, have converged through cornmeal. The peoples of these two nations have been brought together by a single technology.
我们这2个生长季的科研任务就是用我们的垄沟地膜覆盖与回收技术来种植当地的黄豆，然后经过这2个生长季的下来，然后这个黄豆的生长效果的提升也是非常大的。
我在肯尼亚2年经历了4个生长季的实验，这个4个生长季的实验呢，让我明白做农业研究一定要像一个农民一样，你要踏踏实实的去深入到田间，你才能发现农业研究的问题。而另一方面呢，通过在肯尼亚的研究，让我发现在非洲大陆上还有个更广阔的一个空间。
我要感谢熊老师，他给了我这个机会学习这个知识，他让我们努力学习，因为然后我们可以改变我们的生活。
我学了农业技术，还有我也学了那个认真态度，可以改变结果。
Shitogo, Lianda Township, Yuzhong County, lies over 30 kilometers from Lanzhou city center. This region epitomizes the gullied terrain of the Loess Plateau, experiencing drought 9 years out of 10, with annual precipitation barely reaching 300 millimeters. Since the 1990s, Lanzhou University has conducted trials here to promote plastic mulch technology. Today, Professor Xiong Yu-kai brought newly enrolled students to observe firsthand how a field has sustained mulch use over many years.
I'm conducting the seminar, this type of the observations, the conclusions have been found from the functional role of the moss.
I have gained a lot learning farming technologies in China through Professor Xiong. He is the one who has taught us about the plastic field mulching, the ridge and furrow irrigation system, and so many other technologies that if I take this back at home, it will really help the farmers back at home, and it will help our country, Kenya.
Liu Ditai was among the first farmers to experiment with plastic mulch. Having just finished his farm work, he enthusiastically shared this year's corn yield with Professor Xiong.
所以今年我看到，今年应该是产量最高的。
今年就是
起码最近10年没有见到这样的今年的雨水好，而且呢还是全膜双能沟壑技术还是管用的。
当然
一直管用，是吧？
一直管。
它不光是高产，还稳产。
我们这一个区域呢，这一个农贸地适应农贸地适应可以就是到90年代了啊，90年代开始就是那个时候是70公分地。对，我们老百姓开始就投种玉米。原来那个时候，国家把地膜拨给老百姓割，
对，
就破老百姓不破。
是的。
他因为老百姓还看不到那个好处。对。后头国家不补贴了，老百姓来可没得破开了。对。他没得破这个东西。因为效果在那地方。
Plastic mulch has become an essential item for the cultivation of the vast majority of crops. With the assistance of Xiong Yu-kai's team and local agricultural technicians, the technology for reusing plastic mulch has also begun to be promoted. Some mulch films can be used 2 to 3 times for different crops. Under government guidance, a plastic mulch recovery system has been established. Through the use of thicker, high-strength mulch films and biodegradable mulch films, coupled with methods such as trade-in schemes and points-based rewards, the recovery rate of old mulch has reached over 85%. In 2024, the area of plastic mulch used in Gansu province reached 32 million mu. Reducing plastic mulch usage while maintaining yields is the current research focus of Xiong Yu-kai's team. As he puts it, our predecessors laid down the mulch. Our task is to figure out how to take it up again while ensuring stable and increased production. Among the 17 goals of the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the first is the eradication of poverty, followed by the elimination of hunger. These 2 objectives represent the most unifying priorities, transcending cultural and ideological divides. China's contributions to these goals have garnered broad support from UN member states. In June 2023, at the invitation of the United Nations Environment Program, Professor Xiong Yu-kai delivered a thematic presentation. In February 2025, the Pakistan Academy of Sciences extended congratulations upon Professor Xiong Yukai's unanimous election as a foreign member. This marks the first time an ecology professor from Lanzhou University has received this honor. From East Africa to South Asia, China's plastic mulch technology is assisting more nations in tackling drought challenges.
The Chinese people have made a lot of contribution in this country in all the sectors of the economy, in construction, all the engineering components, in all areas, including the agriculture. So it has been a very beneficial collaboration between the two countries. And I'm sure the Chinese, many Chinese working in Kenya, in many areas of the economy, many Kenyans studying in China, in many universities in China, and learning a lot of technologies on how we can transform things in this country. So it is very beneficial collaboration.
This year marks the 15th year that Xiong Yukai's team has been promoting ridge furrow plastic mulching and recovery technology in Kenya. According to estimates, if this technology is successfully implemented, only 1/3 of the arable land would be required to produce sufficient food to feed Kenya's entire population. If rolled out nationwide, it could even transform Kenya from a famine-stricken nation into a food-exporting country. Today, a set of technical standards tailored for the East African Plateau has been finalized. Further innovations, simpler to operate, more affordable, environmentally friendly, and energy efficient, remain under continuous development. The establishment of the China-Kenya Dryland Agricultural Technology Demonstration Park brings the dream of solving Africa's food security challenges through Chinese technology. To address Africa's food security challenges is no longer a distant prospect.
这项技术大面积推广，是向全人类实现了绿水青山就是金山银山这样一个目标。如果说叫我重新选择，我还是要选择它，因为无恙无悔，因为呢，那是希望。
From the Loess Plateau to the East African Plateau, over 15 years, he traveled back and forth for 38 times, covering more than 972,000 kilometers, equivalent to circling the Earth's equator with 24 times. A roll of plastic mulch paves not only the path to increase grain yields, but also develop a bond of friendship, spanning mountains and seas. The spirit of the poplar trees at Lanzhou University has taken deep root here, while the ribbon of the Belt and Road Initiative binds the dreams of two continents together. More will set out along this road in the future, since they know that eradicating poverty and ensuring food security have never been the responsibility of a single nation alone. It is a shared goal for all humanity. This proves to be unceasing, mutual journey across mountains and seas.